Hello friends, in the previous video we saw how the equivalence principle is used to compute the premium in a very small illustrative example. So basically the present value of the money and equivalence principle guide the insurer in coming up with the premium computation. The insurance is a business and it is based upon the inherent trust between insurer and the insured, that's the policy holder. Since the loss is random, in case of life insurance, if we are talking, then mainly the time at which that person's death is going to occur is random, and therefore we use statistics for computing the expected value. So expected value of the loss is the key thing which is taken into consideration in insurance. In actuarial terms, it is known as the actuarial present value, shortly APV. The key question in the feasibility of insurance business is how to measure the random financial impact. So let us see the uh, the measurement of this random financial insurance theory and the utility theory. How is it used in computing the uh, premiums, etc. So let us proceed. As we have seen that we are interested in computing the expected value of the loss or actuarial value of the loss. So suppose the loss which is going to occur is its value is y and its value is 0 with probability 0.98 and 20,000 with probability 0.02. This example is not from the life insurance domain. It is one can call it as from the non-life insurance. That suppose there is a vehicle and its loss when it meets with an accident, and the probability of meeting with an accident is say 0.02, and then the loss will be 20,000. Other, if it doesn't meet with the accident, then there is no loss, and therefore expected value of the loss comes out to be 400. So this we have taken for the understanding purpose. So, individual, that is the insured one, the policyholder, will be willing to pay expected value of expected value of the loss as 400 rupees as a one-time premium to get a cover for potential loss of rupees 20,000. That is for sure because he would think that, okay, if I pay 400 rupees once and if there is an accident, then I will get 20,000 rupees from the insurance company. And if there is no accident, then I will lose my 400 rupees. And that is okay for me. So, that is generally the mentality of the insured. The question is that further this won't be acceptable to the insurance company because the insurance company also incurs the expenditure of running the business. Therefore, if the company just accepts 400 rupees and then there is a loss, then the company has to pay rupees 20,000 as promised. Therefore, it won't be acceptable to the company. Then what is the way out? Isn't it? One has to think of the way out in this case. Company will like to charge more than the expected loss as a premium to cover the random loss. That is for sure. And the individual, if it is he is not willing to pay more than the expected loss, then there won't be the mutually advantageous insurance contract. So the individual has to pay more than the expected loss, that's for sure. Now what is expected and what is utility function? See, from person to person, the value of money or value of wealth differs, in the sense that if a person is an industrial worker and if his wage is say rupees 10,000 per month, and if there is an engineer whose monthly salary is say rupees 70,000, then if there is an increment of rupees 1,000 for both of them, then the industrial worker will be very happy because his salary will be increased from 10,000 to 11,000. Whereas the engineer's salary would be increased from 70,000 to 80,000. So for him, for the engineer, he would say, okay, it's not much. But the worker will think that his salary is increased appreciably. So the point here is that the utility of money differs from person to person, and mainly that depends upon his current wealth. If you have watched this show KBC, then Amitabh Bachchan asks the contestant, 3,20,000 rupees आपको आपके लिए कितने मायने रखते हैं? So if you think that 3,20,000 rupees are too much for me, and if I have reached that particular point, then I should not take more risk because I will lose that amount, isn't it? But if the contestant is well off and he thinks that 320 lakhs, that's not much, okay, I can try for better, and then he would take more risk. So आपको कितने मायने लगते हैं, दैट इज द कंसेप्ट ऑफ यूटिलिटी, of the value or utility of the goods or wealth. Now what is this going to do in the insurance theory? Let us see, it is very interesting. The insurance business works mainly on the psychology of people, because individuals don't want to take the risk. They are afraid of that untoward incident of loss and therefore they buy insurance, isn't it? So that particular mentality is called as risk averse mentality. People are afraid of taking risk after certain extent at least. So this mentality of risk averseness of individuals can be modeled by a mathematical function, and that is necessarily non-decreasing concave function. Now what is a non-decreasing concave function? Let us see that. Suppose u is the utility function, okay? U is the utility function, w is the wealth, then uw is the utility of wealth w to me. So uw is a function of w. Obviously, if my W increases, my utility increases. If it is less or moderate or less or very much, that depends upon my understanding or my thinking. So if U is the utility function, then if u w increases, u should be increasing. So it should be an increasing function. At least it should be a non-decreasing function. I wouldn't say that my salary is 2 lakh rupees and then I would be very much disappointed if it increases to 2 lakh and 20,000 rupees. There is no disappointment, okay? So there can be marginal happiness, but there cannot be disappointment, because therefore W increases, UW increases. That is for sure. That is assured by U dash W greater than 0. It's a non-decreasing function. Then, secondly, its second derivative is less than 0. So, u double dash w, second derivative of the utility function, should be negative. That means it is a concave function. What does it mean? It means that for small w, increase in w is more prominent than for large w. Remember just the example I have given you of the industrial worker. The increase of 1000 rupees in his salary was more prominent for him than the engineer whose salary was rupees 70,000. So, this way the utility function could be modeled. So there are again then spectrum of utility function models. Some are some are drawn here: exponential, fractional power, quadratic, logarithmic, etc. So all of them are increasing. You will see, and another important thing is that they are all concave. No function is like this. Okay, all functions are like this, concave functions. What is the use of concave function? We will see in the mathematical theory for it. Okay, now the key question is to determine or the base the value of the premium for the insurance company. Again, remember that we are working as an actuary in an insurance company. So let us make some assumptions. G is the G is the premium that the insured would like to pay. Okay. G is the premium that the insured would like to pay. One can call it as the maximum premium the insured would like to pay. In the previous example, we had seen that the expected loss was rupees 400. So G has to be greater than 400 because the insured or the policyholder also understands that he will have to pay more than the expected loss in order to be a part of the beneficial contract for the insurance company. Okay, so now what is meant by indifference equation? Indifference equation means that suppose the policyholder is doesn't bother whether to buy the insurance or not. Suppose that is the situation and is ready to pay the premium P. Now, by paying the premium P, one another thing is to be mentioned here that we are going to call this as a single premium. We will not go into the multiple premiums, one time premium. So, suppose the policy holder, is ready to pay premium G, then his wealth will be decreased by W by G. So, his wealth will be W minus G after paying the premium. So, his utility of this wealth after paying the premium will be U of W minus G, U being the utility function for the policyholder. Okay, so this is going to be the utility function for the policy holder after paying the premium G, and here we are assuming that there is no loss. There is no loss. Means he just pays the premium and forgets it. And he is not going to get any cover or benefit because there is no loss. That situation doesn't occur, which is that 0.98 probability wala situation. On the other hand, if there is a loss, that means if the loss is there, it happens with probability zero point zero 0.02 in our previous example, then his loss is going to be monetarily X, isn't it? There is going to be a loss of X values. So his wealth will be decreased by X. So W minus X will be his wealth after that loss. So U of W minus X will be his utility after that loss. So I have lost 20,000 and now whatever I had, suppose I had 1 lakh, then 1 lakh minus 20,000 is my property. So 80,000 rupees are remaining to me. And what is utility of that? Utility of that 80,000 to me. But here that X is a random variable. Therefore, you have to take the expected value. So expected value, expected loss, expected utility of that loss, and then considering that what is the wealth remaining with the policyholder, that is given by the right hand side. So if the policyholder is indifferent to both these situations, then he would say that doesn't matter even if I take the insurance or I don't take it, it doesn't matter to me, and therefore this is the equation. Okay. So this is further then going into mathematics. There is a Jensen's inequality used for concave function where the expected value of that concave function is always less than or equal to the value of that function. So this side is taken expected value of w minus x, and then this is less than or equal to u of expected value of w minus x by this Jensen's inequality. When you take this expected value inside, w is a constant thing, wealth, so there is no randomness here. So w minus expected value of x, which we denote by mu. So you get expected value of u of w minus x less than or equal to this, less than or equal to gets carried over to this, less than or equal to u of w minus mu. Okay. So, sorry. Huh. So, this u of w minus g, this side, this left hand side, is equal to this by the indifference equation, which is less than or equal to u of w minus mu. So, consider this and this. U of something is less than or equal to u of another thing. So this something has to be less than or equal to the other another thing, since c is non-decreasing function. So w minus g has to be less than or equal to w minus mu. W cancels, minus g less than or equal to minus mu, multiply by minus, and therefore invert the inequality, and therefore g has to be greater than or equal to mu. So we get one condition that the G has to be greater than or equal to mu. So the policyholder should agree whatever is utility function he has in mind, his premium which he is going to pay to the company will be greater than or equal to the expected loss. Okay. Now come to the other side of that business, that is the insurance company. Suppose U1 denotes the utility function of wealth of the insurer. Again, the same conditions or same nature applies to the insurance company, that the utility function has to be non-decreasing and concave. Both these conditions are there. Now, the insurance company will say that we can charge any premium, right? Insurance company is a company, so it can charge any premium which comes to its mind. But it is not like that. If it charges any premium, skyrocketing premium, then there won't be any takers for that insurance. So the insurance company has to make a judicial choice for the premium to be charged. Suppose the premium or minimum acceptable premium to the insurance company is H. Okay. Now, H is the premium which is going to be charged by the company, and we will see now that it will be determined by this equation. U1W is equal to expected value of U1W plus H minus X. This equation is again written by considering the indifference of the insurer. What does it mean? That insurance company also doesn't bother whether there is this policy being taken by the policyholder or not. Doesn't matter to the company. Suppose it is the situation, then what would happen? U1W, whatever is the wealth, if the insurance is not sold, then W remains W, its utility remains U1W. If the insurance is sold, then and there is a loss, then the wealth will be decremented by loss, but there is going to be the premium from the insured, so it will become W plus the premium minus the loss. But loss is random, and utility, this u1 is the utility, so u1 utility and its expected value, this is the equation, indifference equation from the side of the insurance company. So when we get into that, what happens? Again, the concavity of U1W gives us the opportunity to use Jensen's inequality, and therefore U1W, which is equal to this, the previous thing written, is less than or equal to, when you take this expected value inside, it goes inside and it affects only that x, all things remain the same, u1 w plus h minus mu. So what do we get? u1 w less than or equal to u1 w plus h minus mu. The utility being non-decreasing, or in simple words increasing, W is less than or equal to W plus H minus mu, and W cancels out and this mu is taken over here. So mu less than or equal to H, or the same thing is written as H greater than or equal to mu. So what has happened? See, G was also greater than or equal to mu, and H is also now greater than or equal to mu. So the important thing is that both insured and insurance company, both of them agree that the premium will be definitely greater than the expected loss. Okay. Now, so minimum acceptable premium is larger than mu. Now, if G is fixed, suppose the insured is saying that okay, 400 is the expected loss, but I am not going to pay the premium more than say 500 rupees. Okay. So if you can fix G, and then the company can decide that value of H between that 400 and 500. So this is the choice of H the insured insurance company can make, and that is the key area where the actuaries work. So, this is an opportunity for a mutually advantageous insurance policy. It should be a one situation, and therefore, the judicious fixation of H in the gap between mu and G is an important task of an actuary, and so that interest of both the parties is safeguarded. Okay, so now we will see an example where this we can see how is it applied in an example. Okay, so this is an example. An individual has wealth 100 units and faces a random loss x following the exponential distribution with mean zero point 0.2. So here is a distribution given to that loss x. What is the maximum amount this individual will pay for the complete insurance against the specified random loss if his utility function is UW equal to minus EXP of minus UW? This is, that means here you have to determine the value of G. So from the earlier equation which we had written for that U of W minus G, U of W minus G. See, this is U of W minus G, isn't it? U is this. So W is replaced by this. So U of W minus G is equal to expected value of U of W minus X. So here that equation is written, indifference equation is written, and then the value of G calculated, and it turns out to be equal to 0.255. Okay. Now, another point here is, suppose the wealth of the insurance company is thousand, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 100, 1 crore. What is the minimum acceptable amount this company will like to charge for complete insurance against the random loss if its utility function is given by UW equal to minus exp of minus W. So that is actually U1W in our notation. So using that, here again that another equation is written which is meant for that H. So U1 of W is equal to that expected value of U1 of W plus H minus X, and therefore that is solved and you get H equal to 0.223. So when you do this, so in this case, both the decision makers are risk averse as utility functions of both are non-decreasing functions, etc., etc. Expected value of x is zero point 0.2 because it's exponential distribution with mean zero point 0.2. G comes out to be 0.255, which is greater than zero point 0.2. And further, we should have h greater than expected value of x, and it comes out to be equal to 0.223. 0.223. So 0.223 is less than 0.255. So h is less than g. We had written mu less than h less than g. So zero point 0.2 less than 0.23, 223 less than 0.255. And then we say that this is possible and hence the insurance contract is feasible. So this is how we establish the feasibility of an insurance contract.